Hi guys, it's me, Joseph Anderson again, and for this video that I will be dedicated to my birthday month, June, in the year 2025, I have a bit of a confession to make, and that being that I'm a bit of a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. From all the games to the Sonic CD, the soundtrack, I love everything there is about Sonic the Hedgehog. I even have many of the cartoons and many of the episodes on my DVD drive and my computer hard drive and such. So I was really excited for the 2020 Sonic the Hedgehog movie that came out, the live action version. Now, we gotta be careful here because Sonic the Hedgehog is not live action character. Now, how can you make a video game character like Sonic the Hedgehog into a live action character without using the wonders of CGI? It was then that I first saw the CGI Sonic the Hedgehog version 1, and goddamn, I'm glad that the people railed against Sonic and whoever were making that movie to redo the design because it was horrid. It would give me nightmares. It was an abomination. It was everything that you can imagine that was bad in CGI. So thank Christ that people spoke up about it, and that people at Sony and Sega made a new model, one with no sharp teeth and a more of a less of a humanoid face, which was very disturbing, covered in blue quills and such. So thank God that the live action version of Sonic was actually decently looking this time around. But I enjoyed Ben Schwartz's performance as the Blue himself. But I still would prefer for Jaleel White to do it. You know, maybe a cameo as some kind of a hedgehog, like an older version, or maybe a in-dream sequence or something, but what we got was still serviceable. I think Mr. Schwartz has a real good future in Sonic the Hedgehog lore and stuff. Maybe in the game or cartoon or something. Still, I would like to hear him say, I'm out of here. That would be a real good thing too. But yeah, I have no problem with the movie actually being called Sonic the Hedgehog because it was like an origin story of the little guy, and it wasn't like Sonic 06, which we don't really talk about that much because the game was also an abomination. Probably even worse than the version 1 we got, Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah, it was still abysmal and all that. Especially the part where he kisses Elise. I have a problem with it, but I know people in the fan base went berserk when they saw that. But luckily, there's no human princesses being kissed in this movie. Thank goodness. But it also has like a weird that game was supposed to be like a retelling of the origin story of the Hedgehog. So it was called Sonic the Hedgehog. Just that. You don't need any other reference to anything else. So I have no problem with it. This movie be the same thing. Because it was like supposedly beginning of a trilogy. Or franchise or whatever the case is. So I am in problem with that. I did like the refs to the other games in the series, like for example, Green Hills. We all know what that's from. There was there were some let's see, well, there were the big rings that refer to the special stages. That usually it just says special stages, but Sonic can use that at will to warp to different location in space and time, and well, not time so much, but space. And then there's also a very big TV reference I don't think that many people got, and that is that in the very beginning, when we're given the origin story for the Hedgehog, he was on the planet. I think they refer to it as Mobius, which is a thing that's referred to in the games. But they also have a thing where they have a White Claw or Open Owl, which is like his guardian owl, if you will. And this could actually be two references in one. Number one from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie from many years ago that I covered last year, in which he has a buddy who's a professor who's an owl. So that could be reference number one for that. Number two is that it's kind of an offshoot kind of theory that people have been going around with and stuff, and it has to do with the labyrinth zone from the first game, the dreaded the fourth level of that game, the first game, and it's like an underwater maze, but very haunting and chilling drawing music that's like everyone hears it when they drown in real life, I'm sure. So anyway, the thing is that in the background of this labyrinth zone is pictures of like the people that made this underwater maze, the underground aquifer maze, and they have the image of owls or birds. So that's really fascinating that they delve deep into the lore of Sonic the Hedgehog for this movie. I don't think it's on purpose or if that was just something they happened to be coincidental about, but it was like kind of fascinating that they did that, like that. Now, this movie also serves as a good reference for Dr. Eggman / Robotnik. I prefer Robotnik. His origin story as well. And they don't really I like this origin story a lot better than the game, because in the games they portray Dr. Robotnik, or whichever you prefer, Eggman, Robotnik, whatever, as being like a all-powerful dictator that it has its base in the Scrappy Zone or Metropolis Zone or wherever, and he's like all-powerful and stuff already. He's already like a menace to society and the earth as a whole. But in this one, just some guy that happened to be really super smart, who's really good with technology and all that stuff. So it's like even the final battle between him and the Hedgehog isn't like a big bombastic type of a giant mecha robot. You're going to wait for number 2 for that to happen. But also, this movie also blends the 3D Sonic universe with the classical gameplay and storytelling and stuff, I guess you could call it. In that they introduced the gun stuff, which I think was the Guardians of the United Nations something in that order. So that was actually pretty. I found it very fascinating. I would love to see a two-dimensional game, 2D game with Sonic with all that gun robot and all that like a humanoid robot stuff. Plus, in this movie, they don't portray the good doctor as slave owner with the animals being trapped with robots and stuff. They do in the games. Nowadays, I think that conflict kind of awkward and kind of weird. The modern audiences. But anyway, I love when Whitclaw sends the hedgehog, the baby hedgehog, through a rig pole to Earth, and he's lonely for obvious reasons. He's the only one of its kind, the only super fast, blue anthropomorphic talking hedgehog. Of course he can be lonely, until later on when he introduced the Sonic and Tails and Knuckles. Played brilliantly by Idris Elba in the next one. Now I don't really have another actor as the Sonic the Hedgehog in credit form. It could be a reference to the fact that they probably used it for motion capture for the hedgehog. Because that's kind of a hard stick to do that off the bat without any other reference points. So hats off to you. Hats off to you for doing that. And the main character is James Marsden. The main character they probably interact with is James Marsden. So back on the loneliness thing, I find that Sonic the Hedgehog being lonely and then playing games with himself. Don't read too much into that. And reading comic books at super speed. That'd be pretty fascinating. Because obviously he's lonely and stuff. So when he plays baseball by himself, and when he reads comic books and works out and stuff by himself, that's a pretty sad but very creative the way to do it. And they draw him blurring and then going so fast that it warps reality, and then his quills get loose. I don't know why it only happens like one time in the movie, but it does. And then James Carrey as the Robotnik captures that one quill and can power his whole egg army with it. I don't know what one quill will do everything, but it does. He also wants to get his hands on the power rings. The power his whatever, ambition, whatever. And I like the way they show that Robotnik ends up gaining the government trust, and then gaining the people trust, and then he sets out on like a military campaign to try to get rid of the hedgehog, try to set the people against him, which is a pretty brilliant move by the good doctor. Dr. What I forget, but it's just a doctor. So I actually like this rendition of Robotnik, even though he's not fat or bald, or with a big mustache. Oh, in the movie he's getting a mustache to be like that. But let me just talk about Jim Carrey's performance. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love it. It's interesting. I like the man is clearly unhinged when he does it. I like the way he does no snap job. I love it. Little assistant there. I don't know if the guy is named Snuzzly or not. That would be the chance for what if he were named Snuzzly. Look at the cartoon. But I love the happy chance that he does whenever he does something good, or what he deems as good. Which probably, I feel that if that Robotnik were a real person, a real entity out there, I do believe that he would do a happy dance. Kind of like that, but better. And let's see, well, that. I love the little truck thing too. Yeah, they make a nice truck with laser beams come out of it and stuff, and all the missiles that come down the Hedgehog. Kind of remind me of the mammoth car from a Speed Racer, the cartoon. And let's see, well, I like that. I love the fact that in the end, that Robotnik actually fights with Sonic the Hedgehog under the power of his own quills. Using the power of the guy's quills. And such. It's actually pretty nice the way that works out. And I like the way he fights him himself, rather than having a bunch of robot minions do it for him. And I love when Sonic gets so fast that he can actually outmaneuver Dr. Robotnik and or any of the missiles. Actually play drums with missiles, and it sounds real hilarious. Let's see here. It's like going to super duper speed whenever he does that. It's a very fascinating way it does it. Where I just right that they don't have the nuts like to blow up when he's playing with them like that. And he's hitting them way to the. You would think that would civil, but I guess not. And also, when Sonic is running down that big building with the dimension ring and stuff, that's a direct reference to something that you see in Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I'm not sure about Sonic 1, though. I'm not sure about Sonic Adventure 1 because, I'm not really sure about that. I haven't played that game in a while, but I know that it's in Sonic Adventure 2. Well, when the hell was gonna get Sonic Adventure 3? Kinda loud. I mean, I would buy it. So anyway, I like when there's a little house scene with Robotnik in the house, and I like the way they kill him. The Sonic has to keep going fast, and I just wonder what the maximum speed of Sonic is. I mean, I love when they show him being so fast that he can actually run over water, and that he can run over he can outrun like Witness and Dryness when he went to go to San Francisco and with the whole fish thing on his head and stuff. I love that. And I love the acrobatics and stuff in the air. I wish you could do that in real life too. But a little minor tidbit I noticed about this is that the human characters are there, but they're not necessary for the story. In a real Sonic game, like they have they're real human beings, and with the exception for the Dr. Robotnik, nobody will care about them. Like the average villagers and city folk and stuff. So like in the movie, they're there and they do the job and they do the serviceable job, but that's about it. They aren't necessary for the actual story. So I don't know if that was a thing for the movie or whatever, but it was still, and I thought not the game. Also, not the game. I absolutely love the part in the movie where they have credit sequence with all custom pixel art like they would have in the real Sonic game, and it's in the style of Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and 4, Knuckles and all that. But it's actually pretty fascinating where they have the scenes from the movie as digital Sonic. It's a really classic old school Sonic. So that's really cool. I can't remember if he was with the guitar in that sequence or not. That would be real cool if you did. That would be another reference to the games and the comic books and to the cartoon as well. Sonic Underground. Let's see. Well, there I still like the idea about nature versus mechanical things, aka robotic forces and stuff. And I like the way, I like the way Robotnik gets very snappy toward his assistant, and that until he gets to like him eventually. And let's see, well, all of Robotnik's goodies are like new scientific breakthroughs and stuff, and then it's shiny and spotless, so the Hedgehog gets a whole little breaks him and stuff like that. Well, this is basically a love letter to all the Sonic fans out there because they know that the Hedgehog has had some real rough history. He's seen some bad shit in his day. You die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And baby, there's been a lot of the villainous games titles out there. I want to say there's been some animation that's been kind of iffy on the Hedgehog as well. But yeah, most of it has been pretty good, awesome in fact. So anyway, in the next the end they also have cameo from Tails and Knuckles, Mr. Oh no. And yes, he isn't too busy, it's the game, blockheaded. And yeah, it's number 2. Can't wait to see number 3. I'll cover number 2 next year. So anyway, there was also a thing where Dr. Robotnik was banished to a mushroom kingdom, if you will. Now, this could very well easily be a reference to the game universe, the Angel Island zone, or Angel Island, or Mushroom Hill zone, in the Sonic universe, which most likely is because that's where he goes in. So Robotnik appeared in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But there was also a comedy bit in which that whole sequence was making fun of the fact that robot that mushroom king that the mushrooms in there looked awful like what you would see in a Mario video game. And we all know that Mario and Sonic were the biggest rivals. And like when I was growing up in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s, before the Hedgehog switched over to Nintendo consoles, kind of still blows my mind about that. But anyway, the thing with that is that Sonic robot could be easily transported into the Mushroom Kingdom or the Mushroom Kingdom. All we need to do is find Bowser over there, and that would be funny. But yeah, more likely that would just reference to the Mushroom Hill Zone or the Angel Island Zone from the games, from Sonic games. Now, also, there was a reference to the Echidna tribe, Knuckles' whole clan, and in the comics at least, they make reference to this warrior clan race that actually protects Chaos Emeralds and were to defend it and chow to that big creature up there. So I don't want to change the backstory to these guys because in the movie they portray them as like the enemy of Sonic the Hedgehog, any enemy of Red Claw. So I don't know what angle they were going for that. Maybe it's implied that White Claw was trying to fetch the emerald or something, the Master Emerald, and they didn't like it. So they tried to attack him and the Hedgehog too. That could be why they have a rivalry in the games and the movies too. Well, I can't confirm that. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this movie all the way through. It was a gamer's paradise to me. Real treat for me to watch. They did the Hedgehog justice, and they did Robotnik justice too. And even in the last part where you see Robotnik in that mushroom area, they show him getting fat. I don't know how you get fat on a diet of just mushrooms, but it worked for Mario, right? So anyway, they show him as getting fat and bald on top of his head. So they made it so he transformed physically into that Eggman Robotnik. And I love the way they have a Robotnik's face on everything. Like in the game, like an egomaniac he is. And all of it. That was actually fun to see. A real treat. And I love the way they made it so that the logo from the actual game, not Jim Carrey's face, that would transform into Eggman. Because I love Jim Carrey, but I don't really love his physique as Eggman. If you're gonna have Eggman if you're gonna have Robotnik in there, you gotta have his face and his image look like the actual Eggman stuff from the game. And Jim Carrey doesn't do that for me as far as his shape goes. And let's see what else is there. I find it interesting that Robotnik has a picture for like 300 points or something, but he still can catch a little blue rodent. and moves at the speed of sound that likes to roll around at the speed of sound. I don't know if the next movie can go that fast, but so it would be nice to be able to see the super figure eight peel out move, or something similar to what maybe did. I know that he did the spin dash, and I know that he can jibber a lot too, but that's for another day. But I just love this movie with the sort of British franchise. Unfortunately, Mr. James Curry will be retiring from acting after the 3. Maybe they can squeeze him out for number 4, but it's kind of disappointing to see him leave. He's done so many good characters, like it's Ventura. He's done the Fire Marshal Bill in Living Color. He did well there he did the Mask. And did so much from my childhood, from the Truman Show to Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And also, I must say that James Marsden, I think I've seen him in another movies like this, so he kind of typecast as the actor that worked with CGI creations. Thank God they changed the CGI on Sonic the Hedgehog and delayed the movie, because otherwise it would look pretty bad. Pretty bad. It would give kids nightmares. And probably give some of the actors probably night terrors too. I'm coming to get you. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I like this movie. I heavily recommend it to you guys. And I thank you for watching my video on the 2020 movie Sonic the Hedgehog. It was so fun, and I was like, and I did this for my birthday month in June in the year 2025. Oh no! And I heartily give this movie my heavy face to pull, because it is speaking of home. It's a love letter to It's a love letter to all the Sonic the Hedgehog fans. Let me tell me of it. And it's so much fun to watch this. It's so much fun to see him interacting himself and causing a giant surge in energy. It's a point they call it blackouts. So to harness the energy, which I never actually saw in the game. I thought they just wanted the Chaos Emeralds and then the Master Emerald for that reason. So, yeah, it would be nice to see him go out to another alternative power source until he finally gets Emerald, which then overshadows the measly quills that Sonic can have. Lightning so quills. So, yeah. I highly recommend this movie. If you like what you see and you want to see more of my videos, you like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Or if you want, you can always contact me for future information on my future stuff by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. Or if you want to get me, you can follow me on Twitter or X Super at PMelstonPro. Also, you can get my email at jjviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I guess anyone that's a Sonic fan, you would like these movies, you would like Ben Schwartz, or any of the live actors in this movie, and thank God that they changed it to be more of a realistic depiction of what a Sonic the Hedgehog would look like, and not, even though they didn't get everything right, because I brought a bowl and stuff, it was still a nice treat to see him done right. Don't take the other costumes. And I like all the actors in this movie too. And peace out, my brothers and sisters. And remember, gotta go fast. And I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in Internet land. Aloha, sayonara, ciao ciao.